Alright guys, so today we're going to check out the Back Bay Runner 40. Now Back Bay is one of those companies that I definitely feel like flies under the radar. They're not very well known, but they're actually from the United States. They are a company that's located in Boston, and the Runner 40 is a product that I wanted to talk about because I feel like it's a direct competitor and a much more affordable option to the Powerbeats Pro, because the Powerbeats Pro comes in at around $200, where the Runner 40s retail for $59, although right now on Amazon they're on sale and there's a little coupon box you can check off, which makes these where you can pick them up right now for only $37. And by the end of the video, you'll see why there's so much value in these and why they are a competitor to the Powerbeats Pro, but also why they may be the better option overall. So to start with, let's go ahead and check out the case and the earbuds. The case is a flat plastic style case. Again, it's a lot like the Powerbeats Pro. On the back, you can see the USB-C input for charging, but when you pop open the lid, it has a digital readout underneath the lid, and this way you can see exactly how much battery life is left on the case, but you can also see the battery level of each earbud as they're charging inside of the case. So that I think is a nice touch. I think in some products it does look kind of cheesy, but at least it's hidden underneath the lid on these. Now the earbuds themselves do have the ear hooks because these are more for sport related stuff or people that aren't really good at keeping earbuds in their ears. These ear hooks allow these to stay in place. They're very comfortable, they're flexible, so I didn't really notice any kind of rubbing against my ears. And this pair also uses touch controls, and I'm happy to say that they give you control over everything out of the box. And this is a huge plus because these don't work with any kind of app for you to be able to switch around controls. So out of the box, you have your play, your pause, your ability to skip your tracks forward, go backwards, you have volume control. And you also have the ability to switch these into the bass boost mode because these have two different sound profiles. It comes with like its own signature sound out of the box, but you can boost the bass by switching it into a bass boost mode simply by touching the right earbud 3 times. Now, as far as any other things, the Runner 40s are available in 2 different colors. I have both versions here. It comes in a pink, but also in black. Inside the box, it comes with 3 sets of silicone ear tips. It does come with a USB-C cable, which you're going to have to use because there's no Qi wireless charging on this case. And speaking of the charging, battery life, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more out of the earbuds themselves because on a full charge, you can get about 6 hours on the earbuds and about 30 hours total using the case. Now, I always like to see 8 hours on an earbud because if you're going to use these at work, I just like to know that they would make it through a full day without having to charge them. So do keep in mind, if you're looking to use these for a full 8 hours, you are going to have to charge these. But luckily, once they're dead, on a 15-minute charge, you can get 90 minutes of use. So that's a nice fast charge feature, and that will kind of help you top off the day just by throwing them back in the case for 15 minutes. So I do like that they have this fast charge feature. Now, as far as some of the other tech, it does have Bluetooth 5.2. So it's not the latest Bluetooth 5.3, but 5.2 allows you to have very good use with media. It cuts down on lag and things like that. It only has AAC and SBC playback, which again is exactly like the Powerbeats Pro, but you know, that's kind of standard with Apple devices. But if you're going to use these on Android, it doesn't have any of those higher end Bluetooth codecs. So that's also something to keep in mind. And if you're going to use these outdoors, these come in rated at IPX7. So they're completely waterproof. So it makes it a pair you can definitely use at the gym or outdoors. You don't have to worry if it starts to rain or if you sweat heavily. And if they just happen to fall out of your ears and fall into water, it's nice to know that they're going to be okay. Now, if you are also going to use these for taking phone calls, I feel like the mics are doing a pretty decent job of picking up my voice, but I also think they do a decent job of blocking out a lot of the sounds around me. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here's the mic test using the Back Bay Runner 40s, and like I said, I think it does a pretty decent job of picking up my voice. There is some warmth and there is definitely some digital noise, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here's a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. Now, right out of the box, I felt like they sounded great. They have that typical Harman curve where your bass is boosted quite a bit. The treble is definitely bright on this pair, so it's very detailed. And the mids, I felt like sound fantastic. This is some of the best mids that I've heard on any pair of earbuds. It didn't matter which genre I was listening to. I always was able to hear vocalists clearly. I could hear a lot of details in vocals and also in certain instruments. But where I enjoyed these the most was listening to these in that bass boost mode. Now, most products, once you switch it into bass boost, it normally just kind of dulls everything out. It just allows bass to kind of take over, and it kind of compresses your mids and your treble. But with this pair, all it does is add another level or two of punchiness, and it allows the bass to be a little bit more loose, kind of gives it that subwoofer type feel, and it's not going for that extremely tight impact that they have right out of the box. So you have two different ways to listen to these. If you don't want that subwoofer or loose type bass, just listen to them with the signature sound. But if you're a bass head like me and you just like that extra punch, switch it into bass boost mode and know that you're not going to lose the mids and the treble. It's still a very bright and detailed sounding earbud. And again, the mids, no matter what, just always stood out front. So I really, from a sound standpoint, enjoyed using these. And same thing with the sound stage and the sound imaging. Because this is a kind of a dynamic sounding pair of earbuds, I didn't expect these to be as open as they were. It sounded like I was in a very large room, and I definitely had no issue being able to tell where different sounds were coming from. So with grading these into the different genres, these get high marks pretty much across the board. If you listen to pop and hip hop, I would give these a 9. Same thing with rock and metal, because they keep up so well but let you feel the drums, I give them a 9 here. And with easy listening, because the mids sound so good and brought out vocalists, I gave them a 9 here as well. And when it came to media, because there's no low latency or gaming mode and it only has Bluetooth 5.2 instead of 5.3, I gave them an 8 here. And that's mainly because these are going to have a little bit more lag when it comes to gaming compared to some of the other earbuds that we've tested that has that Bluetooth 5.3 or even has a gaming mode. So do keep that in mind, but again, that's kind of picking it apart because I didn't notice any lag when it came to movies or video. So my overall rating on these come in at a solid 9. Again, from a value standpoint, the fact that you could get 5 pairs of these compared to 1 pair of the Powerbeats Pro kind of makes this a stupid deal. It's kind of a no-brainer if you're in the market looking for a sport earbud or just an earbud in general, because really the only thing that it's lacking is wireless charging, which the Powerbeats Pro doesn't have either. And the battery life is a little weak. I think 6 hours on a full charge, although I think that's going to be fine for most people. I always like to see that 8 or more, just so you know it's going to get you through that full workday. But the fact that this is a very comfortable pair of earhook style earbuds, coming in waterproof so you don't really have to worry about where you use them, and getting the sound that these have, makes this one of the easiest pairs to recommend, especially in this niche or demographic of people looking for athletic style earbuds. So guys, that wraps up my video on the Back Bay Runner 40s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.